Oh, hello, and welcome to Ardente Rigamortis. I'm Review Cultist.
I'm Mikey, the Sensory Evil.
And I'm the Gamer in Yellow.
And we're here to discuss those internet stories, most creepy and most pasta, and be critically silly doing it. And tonight we have Don't Eat the Sandwiches. So, that's an interesting title for a story. It's also one of the various titles that's on the definitive Creepypasta iceberg.
Mm-hmm.
It's by LyraAlluse on Creepypasta.wiki, so you can check it out there. And before we dive too far more into this silly little creepypasta, with the silly little name, perhaps we should give our initial recommendations. I'm going to recommend it.
I'm not going to recommend it.
Where's all the silliness coming from that you were talking about, by the way? Regardless, I'll recommend it.
The silliness in the title, because I had no idea what I was getting into when I read the title.
Oh, yeah, I mean, fair.
But yeah, with that out of the way, let's find out why we gave those initial recommendations and see if anything changes in our dialogue here. But starting with the rundown. Featuring Nair, because I don't think we get a name for this protagonist.
Nope.
So Nair would visit his grandpa when he went into a retirement community every Sunday to play games, eat lunch, and listen to stories. Basically, just be with his grandfather. As time went on, things were getting harder to do this, and when Nair was going to head out to college, he decided to visit as much as possible, especially since Grandpa's health was starting to slip. It was on this last visit before college that Grandpa revealed something to Nair. The grandma, who had passed when Nair was about 5, was in fact a cannibalistic murderer and had created a secretive organization, a cult, if you will, of wives and girlfriends across the country to get revenge on those men in their lives who had treated them very badly.
Oh, I should clarify. She isn't a cannibal. She forces cannibalism upon others.
She was. I kind of got the insinuation that she was also eating the food that she was serving.
Yep.
So
I got that inclination too. So yeah.
Yeah. So like maybe not like full on like intentional. Well, probably intentional, but like cannibal, like entitling her a cannibal. I think that seems appropriate. Assuming how it kind of insinuated that she was also eating the food, but
yeah, because she didn't just make. Oh, I mean, it's possible that she made her own dinner out of like normal meat, and then made his dinner out of cannibalistic meat.
That is fair, but yeah, we're getting ahead of ourselves. So this all happened as a result of Grandpa back in the 50s treating his wife rather shittily and like a live-in slave, as was the style of the times.
The style. God.
I said the style.
I heard. That's what I said.
Yeah. Okay. I thought you heard spile for some reason. Anyway. Yeah. No. It like older generations as a result of maybe like just like again the way things were and like the trauma of like post-war like North America or post-war world and stuff like that. The men got really. Like the men were assholes to their wives. And in fact, Grandpa was totally unaware about Grandma's situation until she revealed it to him near the end of her life. Even stating that she had killed and fed work friends of his to him back then, all in the name of vengeful punishment for his actions. And like Grandpa wasn't like he had like it is mentioned that like he did have friends that like went missing, and like Grandma like formed this little like local like community of like other women like in the neighborhood to try and search for her. But strangely enough, they never found the people. And then this is basically like this is the truth as to why they never got found. Grandpa makes Nair promise never to tell anyone except Nair's favorite grandchild when the time comes about this whole situation, because although the group was disbanded by authorities with the help of Grandpa shortly after Grandma's death, way back when, Grandpa believes another group has surfaced, one whose members wear a white carved opal. He also says to treat the women in his life equally and fairly, and to watch out for this new group. A few years later, Grandpa passes, and while attending his funeral, Nair becomes horrified when he notices that, in fact, a lot of the women in his family attending the funeral are members of this new cult, for they are all wearing the opal carving in some shape or form.
It's not a lot of them, it's all of them.
Is it all of them? Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's every single person.
It's very likely, yeah. I'm not going to assume that like the little kids in his family or like the little girls in his family are also on the cult. At least not yet.
They might be teaching them pretty early.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and honestly, this was something like that is mentioned in the story because like Grandpa purposely like kept his family out of things when the cult, the original cult, was being busted. Like that was like an arrangement he had with the authorities, was to keep his family out of it. And so like, it really shouldn't be much of a surprise that like the mothers, like all the women in this family are in on this cult as well, because like what was Grandma doing in all the time that she wasn't revealing this to Grandpa, but like probably like grooming these women in the family as well, or like cultivating this in the women in the family as well. But anyway, yeah, Finn, that's the end of the story. It turns out this family held a dark secret. And it's revealed at the end. So that was the super silly and not serious at all and not dark at all like story behind Don't Eat the Sandwiches. So I suppose now we shall move on to Everyone Tolerates the Graham Inquisitions at this point. I've got 2, I think, in here. I apologize for being strict, and she took the whole thing off. So, I think... So, welcome to my tense talk, but I'm pretty sure it should be, I apologized for being strict, and she took the whole thing off.
So, apologize?
Yeah. Because, like, I apologize for being strict, and she shook the whole thing off. It's like, there's present tense in past tense, and the rest of the story is, for the most part, in past tense, so, yeah.
Also, yeah, it is shook. You said she took the whole thing off. I was about to say, oh my.
Ooh. No, I meant shook. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Very different.
Yes. But on to the next thing I have here. Shortly after, your grandmother told me that she passed away peacefully in her sleep. That same creepy smile was painted on her lips when I found her. Wait, what? Oh, okay. After telling him that... so like shortly after that, comma, your grandmother told me that. Wait.
Shortly after your grandmother told me that,
comma. Yeah. So there's a comma. There's a comma after at the beginning there that I think should actually be moved over to told like after told me that, because otherwise it sounds like grandma told him that after she passed away. Peacefully in her sleep. And I was very confused. So yeah, it's just like a comma needs to be added, or needs to be switched locations in the
yeah, honestly, me reading it, I was very confused as well, because I'm like, how is Grandpa hearing about this from Grandma after Grandma died?
Oh, Grandpa's getting a little bit of delirium. I'm trying to give him his pills.
The way that I corrected that was basically to remove the "your grandmother told me" part and just go shortly after, comma, I found her passed away peacefully in her sleep.
Yeah, back same creepy smile. But yeah, honestly, like either one, like either fix it like that or just change or just move the comma down the sentence. But that's all I have for the story. So for Grammar Inquisition. So Mikey, these cents for you.
I have a conjunction junction.
All right. And next stop, Conjunction Junction. Doot, doot.
It was always great fun hearing Grandpa's stories, and I always looked forward to hearing a new one every week. It seemed like he would never run out of subjects to talk about. It was always great fun listening to the trouble he got in as a pilot, flying under billboards to see how low he could make his personal plane that he bought after the war go. And you must promise me that you will only tell this story to your most devoted grandchild so that every generation is given a fair warning. It is at my old age that I've had a lot of time to reflect on my past actions. It is just the way things were back then. But I suppose we were both victims of the culture of the time. So I learned to give her space when she was in one of her moods. It was then that something changed in her. It was around that time that one of my good friends, Jerry, went missing. But, unfortunately, Jerry was not seen again. It was a few months later when another one of my friends, Stan, went missing. It became somewhat of a local mystery. It was open for many years, and during that time donated a lot of its time helping less fortunate people in the community. It was when your grandmother's health was failing many years later that we got to talking about my old-time friend. And that is when she brought up all of the great things she cooked while we were looking for them. And that is when the smile came over her face. But one of their most twisted games was taking a friend of the troublesome men in their lives and serving it to him in the form of food. But I heard recently a new club started up under a different name. And just to be safe, and with this, Grandpa fell quiet. It was an open casket funeral, so the family could come up and look at him lying peacefully in his new home. It was then that one of my female cousins came up and paid her respects to Grandpa too. It was an opal stone cut in the shape of a moon. Finn.
Wow. That is actually a fairly succinct, like even more like streamlined, but like almost coherent, succinct version of the story. Except for the part where like Grandpa fell silent, and then like the funeral was like, it almost seems like the funeral was like immediately after, because like Grandpa's falling silent was actually like he died.
Yeah, like he died in front of him the moment he said that.
Yeah, before he could like tell him what the name of the place, the name of the new cult was or something. But yeah, holy crap, that was actually pretty succinct summary. So, which often happens when
Mikey grabs all the sentences that in a story that start with words that they probably shouldn't, like it, ends, or buts, because there's always better words to use.
Indeed. All right, Gamer, do you have any grammar in yellow?
I got one. I noticed that his health had taken a turn for the worst, but he never brought it up. I think the term is actually turn for the worse, not worst. And that's about it.
Okay. Hang on. Did you actually like?
I did check it.
Okay. Then I won't bother. I will believe.
Good. Excellent.
All right. So then I guess we'll move on to actual thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll start with this one here. Grandpa paused and made sure I was going to keep the promise. I swore that I would on my life, and then he continued on. And as I read this, I was like, wow, way to break your promise to your supposed favorite grandpa. Like, by telling the entire internet this story after he told you to promise not to tell the story. But then later, in the end of the story, at the funeral, I came up and paid my respects. I silently promised my grandfather that I wouldn't tell what I knew to anyone in our family, and thanked him for all the good times we shared. Ah, I see you found a loophole.
Yeah, no one in the family. So as long as no one in the family reads that on the internet, he's fine.
Exactly. Yeah. But yeah, back to my chronological notes and stuff like that. So back to near the beginning of the story. This story again has a pretty silly or innocuous title, like "Don't Eat the Sandwiches." So it left me wondering what was going on until this. It was around that time that one of my good friends, Jerry, went missing. Your grandmother knew his wife, Edith, and together they got all the housewives involved in trying to find him. They put up flyers and the like, but unfortunately, Jerry was not seen again. It was a few months later when another one of my friends, Stan, went missing. The housewives got together again and tried to find him with little success. And it was at this point, after like reading like he had been treating her poorly, and then she started smiling like almost like in a strange way. And then like this all happened with like Jerry and Stan going missing and stuff, with the housewives all like banding together to try and find them, and oh, no luck. I was like, uh-oh, I think I know where this is heading.
Mm-hmm.
And then later, many years later, your grandmother and I were talking about Jerry and Stan. And that is when she brought up all of the great things she cooked while we were looking for them. The mouth-watering roast she had prepared and fed to all of the members of the search party. The roast beef sandwiches she had packed for the lunches I took to the office. The blood pudding she had made for the neighbors. She went on like this, naming off all the different meats she had cured and served to people over the years. Yeah, I see you, story. Damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and yeah, it's just, wow. It's kind of funny because like I've seen this plot twist in a way, like in film and like in like usually in like anthology horror shows and stuff like that. So I wasn't too like surprised by this, but also like it is done kind of funny, like in an interesting way. And like the title is connected to the plot twist, but is so innocuous and like kind of silly that like I didn't see it coming until it started being brought up about like the missing best friend and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it doesn't reveal it or nothing.
No. Until it's too late, basically.
Yeah, absolutely.
Until I've already tasted the story. But I will continue on. So my next thing here, I always made sure to cook a perfect meal out of all of the naysayers just for you. Grandpa stopped his tale to retch a bit, and I stared at him with my mouth open. I could feel the color draining from my face. At this point, I was visibly shaking. Yeah, that's a perfectly valid reaction to discovering this. From an ailing grandfather, that your grandmother, now long past, was in fact a cannibalistic serial killer, with your grandfather being an unwitting associate or victim of.
Yeah.
Also that she apparently formed an entire cult of serial killing women across America. Damn those industrious New Jerseyans.
Mm-hmm. Did you read this entire thing in like a heavy New Jersey accent, by the way?
You know what? I didn't.
How dare you?
Yeah, my bad. I also don't. I often don't know what a New Jersey accent is unless I've like recently heard it.
Oh, okay.
Otherwise, I just end up getting a New Yorker.
which is pretty close, honestly.
I get, yeah.
I'm sure I'm wrong in saying that, but
I'm sure you're now like alienating our New Jersey and New Yorker like fan base or listenership.
Oh
no. How dare you like just lump the people from New Jersey with the people in New York? There's an entire river dividing them, sir.
I understand.
They are putting their foot in the sand of the shore on Jersey. Anyway, I'll move on.
Please.
Yeah, the fact that she did all this to spite him for his cruel behavior at the time is both commitment to a bit and revenge, but also shows just how badly she was affected, like mentally, by the behavior of the husband. Like, again, the before, like, and like we're not perfect today in the present, but like, yeah, people in the back like decades ago were shitty because of like women's rights and stuff like that. So like it's, again, it does give this, the villain is not redeemable, but is like sympathetic in a way, because this is sort of a revenge plot or a revenge thing where like the wife snapped and then decided to, like, get in all her girlfriends and on this as well, because and in the pursuit of like getting justice for like the injustices of like a patriarchal society. But I will move on to the next thing I have. Never, I repeat, never mock a girl by asking her to make you a sandwich. Don't demand anything from her. Treat her equal. Let her do as she pleases. If I had just learned to be kinder to your grandmother all those years ago, I wouldn't have created a monster. I wouldn't have created the monster she became. Be kind to the ladies in your life, grandson. The consequences for doing otherwise are dire. I mean, treating women with respect just seems like perfectly good advice. Just saying. But yeah, so like, it's interesting that the story had like such a serious message, also just quite a dark tone to it. Again, repeating myself, from such a silly title like "Don't Eat the Sandwiches." To that, I just like want to continue. I just want to reiterate, well played, story.
Yeah, I didn't go in here with like a silly vibe like you did.
Yeah.
Either fortunately or unfortunately, I'm unsure.
Wait, was there more to that?
No.
Okay.
just so like I didn't go in there like assuming it was going to be silly like you did from what it sounds like. You're like, where's the silliness going to happen? There's nothing silly happening. Like, what's going on?
Yeah, like, it was like, oh, this is a silly title. Like, is it going to be like, oh, I bet it's going to be like some silly like food like horror or like some silly food monster thing. No, it was about monsters, just human monsters again. And the food was a subject. It just wasn't as silly as I thought it would be. But I'll move on to the next thing here. This is near the end of the story that it kind of caught me with something, with a notion after I'd finished reading it. But the excerpt I have is: my eyes shot around the rest of the room. My aunt wore the ring. My female cousins wore the ring. My grandfather's sister wore it as well. Even my mother wore it. And this is like when he's like looking around and noticing like all the women are wearing an opal carving in some degree, like either a ring or something. And I suppose that shouldn't be too surprising, since Grandpa was like only let in on the secret near the death of his wife. She likely had a lifetime to indoctrinate the family members into the cult as well, right? And
it's more along the lines of like, because the grandfather got the police to leave the family out of it, the cult continued to remain within the family and spread from the family, because probably every woman in the family was already in the cult.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, and so I was, you added on to what I was saying, but yeah, like, yeah, between like him not knowing about this and grandma being able to like kind of like secretly cultivate the women in the family to this. And then grandpa like wanting to leave his family out of the investigation to spare them also kind of probably helped them like rebolster the cult again. So yeah, we shouldn't be surprised, but it is a nice twist that like you kind of see coming, but like also it's not terrible. And in fact, to me, like reading this kind of revelation at the end of the story, there is almost a Lovecraftian vibe to this story, despite its mundane nature, where the protagonist discovers the horrid family ties they have to some dark conspiracy or some dark secret, and just how helpless they end up feeling by the end of it once they realize like knowing the revelation is worse. Like it's a very Lovecraftian notion, or a very eldritch kind of notion of like ignorance is bliss. Like he is not happier for knowing about the secret or to knowing the truth, or realizing the truth by the end of the story. He is left in a worse state as a result. And also I say mundane, like of a mundane nature, because like due to the fact that this story has no supernatural element, it's just a cult of normal though vengeful women across America secretly punching the men in their lives that treat them shittily. So it's like it has that Lovecraftian vibe while being mundane and not having like weird eldritch horrors or strange supernatural or preternatural creatures in it. It's just basically a cult of vengeance.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's what I've got for the story. So Mikey, D stands for evil.
All right. Well, I'm going to start with the end because that's where you ended.
Yep.
And go even more mundane. So, after Grandma passed, they could have cleaned out the old house and found a box of rings. Not realizing they're cult-related, decided to distribute to the rest of the family because it's the ring that Grandma always used to wear.
Like as a reminder.
That is so unintentionally scarring Nair.
Yeah. And then at the funeral, they're all wearing the ring as it reminds them of their grandma.
Yeah. Oh, that's so good. And then like maybe the grandpa, like again, because his health was failing by the end, so like maybe he got a little confused, and like that's why he said like, oh, like watch out for these like this new group that's showed up that they wear these opal rings and such. And really, it's just him remembering that like his wife used to wear the like opal rings. So, that's really that's a really good interpretation to the ending though. Like, that makes the story almost better because of just how like twisted that is in a mundane way. Bueno.
All right. And then my next actual thought here is I have a quote. And you must promise me that you will only tell this story to your most devoted grandchild so that every generation is given a fair warning. And my thought is, well, doesn't that mean that you're skipping every other generation?
Yep. You are.
Yeah.
You're not helping every generation, you're helping every other generation.
Yeah.
Specifically because he said, like, I've never told this story to anyone and another person before. So it's not like he told Nair's father.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then the next actual thought here is really, how did the grandpa survive? Because it comes off that he was a jerk to the grandma because of the times. And we get Jerry, who was a work friend who got a promotion before he did, that went missing. And Edith, the wife, was part of the housewives club searching for him. And so she was part of the group that did Jerry in. So does that mean that Jerry was actually more of a jerk than Grandpa?
I think there might have been some maybe some seniority or some priority in the cult since maybe Grandma was the one that started it. Like her husband being tortured by Jerry getting fed to him and stuff like that might have taken precedence over Edith just getting revenge by killing her husband. And we don't know what shittiness if at all Jerry had to eat it. Edith might have just either Edith was being treated really even worse by Jerry in secret, and so that's why Edith wanted to kill her husband, or Grandma just is really good at manipulating people and just convinced Edith to kill her own husband.
No, it's explained in the story that Grandma, Grandpa came back saying the one guy got a promotion when he should have, and then all of a sudden he disappears. And then Grandpa says, "Oh, this one guy at work's kind of annoying," and then he disappears. It's because Grandpa was pointing out people that annoyed him.
Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah. Even though they were his friends, but he was basically he was just offhandedly creating a kill list by accident.
Yeah, every single episode when we do recording, you're like, "I hate you." For me, doing puns and stuff. In that situation, I would be long dead.
And only if I complained to my girlfriend or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then she started it's I'll hunt him down. He just keeps coming back. He keeps using clone nujitsu.
Yeah. Thankfully, that's the thing I totally have.
Yes, totally.
Okay, so basically, the Grandpa would offhandedly say that someone was a jerk to him, and then the Grandma, being part of the group, would say, "Well, they're messing with my family, so they got to go."
Mm-hmm.
So even if Edith was part of the group, she had no say because the Grandma was the ringmaster.
Yeah, or she was convinced to do so. But yeah, either it honestly seems like Edith got the shit can because she's the one because Grandma died before the cult went down, and then Grandpa alerted the authorities about the cult, and Edith got busted. I think it's even mentioned offhandedly that Edith was still alive when the cult got busted. So
yes,
yeah, Edith really drew the short straw of this whole thing.
It's not just Edith. Everyone in the cult got busted,
except for this family.
Yeah, Edith's the new cult leader. Is now I can finally get revenge for Jerry. Well, I'm being arrested.
Yeah. She was like, they were in the middle of a meeting, planning the demise of Grandma's family, when the SWAT members just burst through with shotguns and just arrested everybody. Tear gas.
Right again. There you go.
Yeah. Tear gas crashes through the window of this this older woman's club, in some person's living room.
Well, it's not necessarily older women because they were young women back then.
Yeah. And it could also be it may not be in somebody's house at this point, because if the cult was large enough, they might have their own little meeting area, meeting place. But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I just imagine
the meat market or something like that.
And now on the docket, we're going to kill we're going to torture Morgan's boyfriend for beating her, and then go. What? Down on the ground. But there was time now. Edith was playing the long game for too long.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Hashtag justice for Edith.
No.
Let's not make that a thing. Sorry, continue.
That's into my actual thoughts.
All right. Gamer.
Well, let's see what I got left. Well, first off, regarding just the retirement homes activities, so nothing to do with the actual story, but I'm bringing this up anyways. After Grandpa moved in, I would visit him every Sunday to join in at the weekly game challenge. The game changed depending on the week. Sometimes it was gin rummy, other times it was shuffleboard. Sometimes it was bingo. The games were chosen ahead of time by the residents from a list that had all the available games written on it. When the game was decided upon, the entire hall would be converted into an arena. It is arena, not area. Arena for the game of choice. So this made me think that, like, those are all old games and such, but, like, by the time I'm old enough for a retirement home, are they going to be like, okay, it's Halo 2 night, so the whole arena is going to get turned into, like, a huge System Link party? Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, that is a joke I've heard for years about our generation, but also I think that's getting closer and closer to the truth the longer we go.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Like a few years ago, like they started having Wii's in old folks' homes. So
this is true.
now the Wii is no longer popular, but I can only assume that technology has changed, so we'll get more newer technology in old folks' homes.
For sure.
That would be pretty hyped to have, like, a huge System Link party happen.
Yeah.
Even when everyone's like
Geriatric.
70 and 80, it's like, don't worry, I still got it. I got a pwn, you noobs.
Double kill, triple kill, Kilimanjaro.
And you win, you start to, like, try to teabag in real life, your knees give out, and you fall. It's like, oh!
Or, like, this is getting sad. I was going to go, it's like, yeah, I beat you.
Okay, that's a little worse.
It got dark. I'm sorry.
A little bit. But yeah. Hashtag goals, I guess. Moving on.
Hashtag retirement goals.
Well, about the with the ending reveal, that, like, literally everyone there are members of the cult, quote unquote, unless we go with Monkey's headcanon. I wonder how obvious it would be if they, like, if they're for their whole lives they wore that ring, but, like, no one noticed that they all had the same ring.
I mean,
but, like, now that he has the information of it, now he knows to look for it.
Yeah, like, I mean, I don't look. I mean, personally, I don't, like, look at, like, what my relatives are looking at, like what jewelry my relatives are generally wearing, unless it's, like, a special occasion or something like that. So, like, yeah, I could see that, like, kind of hiding in plain sight sort of situation.
Yeah, and especially, like, when everyone's, like, out and about in town, like, you're not going to notice, like, every 10th woman has one of the rings on, you know?
Yeah, and like, unless you know the significance of that, you're not even going to draw much attention to it either, regardless, because, like...
Yeah. Because also, depending on the size of the town, there's probably only so many jewelers in the town, so there's only so much variety.
Yeah.
So they could just say, oh, it's just a nice ring that I liked. Fair enough.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's, like, the only nice ring in all of town.
Well, and then also the jeweler could be part of the club as well, like...
Oh, probably.
So she'd be in on it or something like that, and yeah.
Why would you immediately think it was a she? It could be a guy.
Because the entire cult's, like, dynamic is about getting revenge on their male counterparts.
Yeah, but he could be very forward thinking, be like, you know what? This shit does suck. You know, I'm gonna help you girls.
Yeah. Really forward thinking on, like, this murder cult. Like, queens. I suppose you're right. That could be the situation.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's about all I got until final thoughts.
All right. Well, that's as good a transition as ever to the final thoughts. Yeah, no, I'm still gonna recommend it. It's short, it's sweet, it sort of brings to mind the kind of stories that you'd see in, like, anthology series like Twilight Zone, Outer Limits, things of that nature. I enjoyed the twists and turns of it. For a story that, like, again, when I saw I saw the title, I was like, oh, we need to review. Or like that's our next one. Like, don't eat the sandwiches. What is that about?
It was a Girls and Bugman level of what the fuck? We have to read it.
not quite as like crazy as Girls and Bugman, but like definitely like, oh yeah, okay, we need to read this one just to see what's behind this door. And boy, what a door!
Yeah.
Or boy, what a room it was behind that door. But yeah, it was very enjoyable as a result of it. So yeah, I'm still willing to recommend. Mikey, these stands for evil.
All right. So there's a few issues that I didn't care for. Well, number one, you have a grandpa who is in an old folks' home, remembering stuff from the 50s. So, and there's the issue that, he might have dreamt that he had this conversation with his wife on her deathbed or whatever.
That's also even worse, but better. Like driving your favorite grandchild like paranoid of women because you gaslit both him and yourself about this situation. I will say that did cross my mind once, I think, while I was reading the story, but like you saying it, like you bringing up that suggestion is it like I kind of want that to be the case. It's just like this is all just a horror of misunderstanding or of misremembering and miscommunication. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry.
Or just like his memory's going too.
Yeah, well, that's part of it.
Yeah. And then the revelation that the grandpa has when he finds out that he ate his friends. Like, if you're fed human and you don't know it's human, and by the time you find out it's been years, I feel like it loses some of its gut punch. Like,
are you saying like he shouldn't be retching anymore?
Well, yeah, like the whole, like, if you were to eat human and then just after you finished eating, it's like, oh yeah, it was a nice meal. Oh, by the way, it was human. Like, that has more of an impact than, oh yeah, a bunch of meals you ate 30 plus years ago were human. Like, not many people remember what they had for lunch yesterday. So,
well, yeah, but it's a little different. It's like, did I have ham or turkey yesterday? Or did I have ham, turkey, or human 50 years ago? Like, one has a little bit more impact. I think it would have more staying power.
Did I have Stan or turkey today?
Yeah, nice. Yeah, I get what you're saying. I don't think it's as exactly like I'm retching because I need this out of my system. It's just the grossness of just thinking about the concept of consuming someone that you knew.
Yeah. Or
remembering that all over again.
Yeah, exactly. Like, this is definitely like pent up trauma.
Yeah, I'm sure he buried it too.
Yeah. Because, yeah, that's something the human brain does often. But then when you remember something, like, you have a visceral reaction sometimes. Even, and it doesn't even have to be something that you like, if you've eaten something like horrible, or if like it's like car crashes or some, like, again, any kind of like traumatic event that you experience, like, your mind might repress it. And like, if you bring it back, try and bring that back to the surface, you're going to have a visceral reaction to it. So
yeah, but the thing is, when he ate the food, it was a delight.
Mhm.
So,
But the revelation of that he was given by his, like, again, like it'd be like if I found, honestly, like I would be fucking in the same boat, like if like retching and stuff like that, if I was told by my mom that, or like by my nona, that like all the meatballs in our spaghetti that we've been eating had been like one of the neighbors back in the day, like that they'd been like preparing, because like that would be fucked up.
yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it would taint your palate for anything that tastes even sort of like that in the future.
Yeah, like vegans on the menu after that, I think. For
Yeah.
some...
But why are you eating vegans?
God damn it.
Nice.
I can't even be mad.
No.
I walked into that meat grinder.
Much like how Stan accidentally did.
Aw.
Yeah. And then the well, it. And then there's the other issue, where you have a cult, but people are gonna find out about it.
Yeah, they did.
Like really quickly.
No, okay.
Like,
you underestimate criminal activity, I think. Like, yeah, like
well,
people know about it, certainly, but like it takes like, it does take, like, if they're sloppy enough, yeah, they'll get caught. But like if they are coordinated and thorough enough, shit like that doesn't get known for like years.
Have you heard of the mafia?
Exactly. Have you heard of the mob? Have you heard of human trafficking?
Yeah.
Rings.
Remember Nebraska? Was that Nebraska's thing?
Nebraska was that and more. But yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Like I understand. Like you're like, oh, like this stuff's gonna get caught. It's like, yeah, and they did. But like in the time before they're caught, they're gonna be like, there's a reason why criminal activity like this and organized crime happens is that they don't get caught for a while. Until there's
basically they needed the recipes from Grandpa.
Yeah, clearly.
And that recipe book also contained how to fillet a human.
What is that? What's that long time joke? It's like how to serve man. No, it's how to serve man food. or like it kept changing. Bit that was inspired by like an actual like some Twilight Zone episode.
Yeah. Can't remember. Anyway.
But yeah. Back to your point.
Yeah, and like I said, you can mundanify it more by having even the mother or the aunts find a box filled with rings.
Yeah.
When going through the old house and then saying, "Oh, that's just like Grandma used to wear. Oh, we should distribute this to the females in the family."
Yeah.
And I mean, like, as funny as that is, I would hate it if that actually happened.
I mean, yeah, if obviously, like, I mean, that is sort of a double-edged sword. Like, on one hand, like, if it was all mundane and this is all just paranoia, the movie, or paranoia, the story, that can be cool. But also, like, there is going to be a percentage of people that aren't going to like it.
Because it like takes all the sting out of it.
Yeah, exactly. Though I'm like even like mundanifying even further in my head. It was like, well, what if like Grandma wasn't actually like, this was actually not like a thing. Like she did have like a club with the neighbors and stuff, but she was also just like writing her like her own like crime horror or like horror thriller like in her journal as like as catharsism. Like she never acted on it, but she wrote all this stuff down, and then when she was like close to like the end of her life, maybe she was going a little bit, and so she decided to like have a little fun, or like maybe she like got confused and like misinterpreted what she had been like thinking versus like what she had done. So like Grandpa thought that like what she was saying was real, but it was all just basically like her thoughts in her journal of stuff she wanted to do, or like what she was writing and preparing for like some like horrible like crime novel that she wanted to write. And then got like basically her local like organization that she founded swatted for no reason at all. You could continue to mundanify it down to like nothing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. You were on the right path with like, oh, like what if it was all just like or you were on like an interesting course with like the what if it was just like all jewelry from like the grandma that they were wearing, actually part of the cult. But I think the problem is like if you continue mundanifying it, it is also it's going to lose its spark. Like
it's not a creepypasta at that point anymore. It's a funny story.
Yeah, it's a pasta.
It's a funny story with dark undertones.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I'm still not going to recommend it.
I mean, that's fair. That's fine. I'm not mad at all.
Seems harsh as hell, honestly.
Well, gamer, what is your verdict then?
I mean, I like the read. Given the title and the picture, I assumed that there was going to be some sort of finger food that was going to be involved, and I guess I was somewhat right.
Yeah, I forgot to look at the image. Yeah,
yeah,
and
yeah. But yeah, it was that and way more too. While I had suspicions on the club when they were being formed in regards to the like disappearances and stuff, I was still surprised by the lengths that they went to, considering what was written in that book and all that, and Grandma admitting it. And post story, I think I'm going to be concerned if I ever see a woman with that same ring in my real life.
Yeah,
thanks, story.
Also, yeah, I should point out that the image that's provided with the story that we didn't really mention until now is of like basically a lady's finger within a ring with an opal in it. So, but yeah, no, it's definitely concerning. Again, just follow like the perfectly fine and well-to-do like not procedure. Just treat women like with respect,
like people.
Don't be a jerk.
Yeah.
And this isn't just like, again, also obviously it goes without saying, not just like toward women. Just treat people respectfully. Don't bully them. Don't be dicks, and you'll probably end up fine. I think that's kind of what the story's like message was.
Yeah, the TLDR is don't be an asshole.
Yeah, exactly.
Or just be enough of an asshole that they don't kill you.
I don't know about that. Where are you getting that?
Instead, just
from the grandpa.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he was quite an asshole.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Or if you're going to be an asshole, make sure that like you have connections that'll keep you alive, basically.
Maybe not the message the story.
Like, what do you mean?
But yeah, just be a decent person. Is
absolutely.
But yeah, I guess is that it then, gamer?
More or less, yeah. Again, the story was a good read. It was a quick read, considering I had to read it last second because oops. Which might be partly why I only have a handful of notes, but also partly because the story didn't bother me. There wasn't that much grammar-wise, thank God, because I hate going over that. And the story had a nice reveal. I didn't really see it coming. I only saw like teases of what could happen. And the ending reveal was fun. So yeah.
All right. Well, I guess that'll be our verdicts. 2 recommendations and 1 non-recommendation, depending on how much you want to mundanify the story.
So, Mikey, in your head, like, is it basically just like because you are deciding that the headcanon that you are creating is what actually happened, or it's because that's not what happened? That's why you hate the story? I'm very confused.
Well, the problem is that there's so much not explained. That is why you can come up with all these ways to mundanify it.
That's That's also every story we've ever read.
Yeah, that's general like short stories. The game.
Yeah, but I mean, this one, it's like, I don't know.
It left you wanting more like details about what was going on.
Yeah. And
I mean,
like,
they gave all the details, but okay. I'm not gonna try to change your mind. I was confused as to your take on it, your strong take on it.
Yeah, I mean, again, your opinion's valid.
Yep, absolutely.
It is valid to be wrong. No,
Wow, I didn't want to say it, but someone
we're
did.
thinking it. No, obviously, again, like we say this before, like we'll say it again. We all have different opinions, so
Yeah.
not every story is going to float our boat.
Mm-hmm. Not everyone's fancy will be tickled on every story.
Yeah. But yeah, so that'll do it for this week's episode, I suppose. Yes, Mikey.
Connective tissues time.
There was
ate a sandwich.
Wait, sorry, what? What?
Connective tissues. I ate a sandwich.
What were you eating a sandwich while reading this story?
No, but I did eat one since, so
I mean,
it said,
that's fair.
don't eat them. There's a warning.
And then Mikey was just like, "Don't you're not the boss of me, story. I'll do what I want. I'll eat a goddamn sandwich with human meat if I have to." All right. Well, with that, I think so that's it for tonight. If you like what you heard, or if you didn't, leave us a comment in the comment section below where it's posted. Some of us are on Blue Sky. Mikey, for example, is at the E Stands for Evil, and I'm at Review Columnist. You can also send us emails at aldenteberigamortis@gmail.com. That's ALDENTERIGAMORTIS@gmail.com. Where you can also send us suggestions for other creepypastas, SCPs, spooky things. You creep it, we'll peep it. Yeah. And if you'd like to help support our show financially, you can go to Patreon. We have special episodes, early access, and extra content. To all our patrons helping support the show, thank you immensely. You're helping keep those hosting bills at bay. And as always, we very much appreciate that. And to all our listeners and the authors of these stories, thank you immensely. Because without your listenership, it'd be like screaming into the void. And without your authorship, writing and posting these stories on the internet, we really wouldn't have much of a show because we'd have nothing to talk about. So thank you. Now's a good time to mention that we are a part of a podcast network, much like the Grandma and Edith are part of a cannibalistic murder cult.
I don't know if you should compare yourselves with them.
We are a part of our own podcast network, Crit in the Night, an actual play and creepypasta podcast network. We're there alongside our sister podcast, One Less Die, and our cousin podcast, The Role Playing Exchange, for things that go crit in the night. We got our own little, opal rings and everything.
No, they're like D20s or something.
Yeah, exactly. Watch out for that podcast cult. They're the pod cult. They all wear a D20 somewhere on them. That's how you nose them. Until next time, I have been your host, Review Cultist.
I'm Mikey, the E Stands for Evil.
And I'm the gamer in yellow.
And this has been Al Dente Rigamortis. Sleep well.